Coming up on KOTA Territory News at 5:30, Sturgis sees a massive spike in sales tax revenue. Plus, Rapid City Regional Airport celebrates its 75th anniversary. We'll take you there. And Representative Dusty Johnson pushes for transparency in Congress. Your news starts now.
From Skyline Drive, this is KOTA Territory News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Jack Cottle. Governor Larry Roden is sharing details behind the transferring of 11 inmates in South Dakota to ICE custody for deportation proceedings. KOTA Territory Blake Trolley spoke with him about why Roden believes the inmates should be removed from the country.
The inmates are from Mexico, Sudan, Liberia, Canada, Cuba, Ethiopia, and Somalia. Convictions the inmates are serving time for include possession of a controlled substance, burglary, aggravated assault, fourth-degree rape, and more. Governor Larry Roden saying in a press release, South Dakota taxpayers should not have to foot the bill for illegal alien criminals. He weighed in with KOTA Territory News last week.
Well, it's a considerable amount of money for us to house those prisoners, and if we can turn them over to ICE and it's appropriate for them to deport them, why not?
The transferring of inmates from the state system to ICE is part of Governor Roden's Operation Prairie Thunder, which included an initiative to identify potential criminal illegal aliens in the state's prisons. Governor Roden tells KOTA Territory News that one factor included in deportation decisions is what ICE's plans were to do with the inmates.
We didn't want to parole them or turn them over to ICE only to have them show up back in South Dakota.
The governor also says another criteria item was how close the inmates were to completing their sentences.
Most of the ones that we were on the list had a very short amount of time left on their sentences.
Each case was reviewed by the parole board. The approval of transferring the inmates was announced last week. In Rapid City, Blake Trolley, KOTA Territory News.
Senator Mike Rounds is now weighing in on peace negotiations between Russia and Ukraine. KOTA Territory News caught up with him just hours after President Trump met with President Zelensky and other world leaders hoping to make a deal. Rounds believes people need to remember that Ukraine is a peaceful nation and that Russia is the aggressor.
The real question is what will it take to actually allow the Ukrainians to live in peace? We're outside. I think the president is trying his best to be a peacemaker. I don't think Mr. Putin has pulled the wool over his eyes like some people think. I think the president goes into it with his eyes wide open. He understands that Putin's got his own story to tell. I don't think the president's going to fall for it.
Giving Ukraine more weapons in the meantime, if need be. President Trump is currently trying to set up a meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. The president met with Putin last week in Alaska. South Dakota Representative Dusty Johnson wants there to be more transparency in Congress, and now he's pushing to pass the Trust Act in Congress when lawmakers return to D.C. in September. Johnson says members of Congress should not be buying and selling stock. He tells us this legislation, which was first introduced in 2023, would ensure they're playing by fair rules. It would require members to put specific investments into a qualified blind trust until 180 days after the end of a lawmaker's tenure. The act also applies to their spouses and dependent children.
In the last 7 years, I have not bought or sold any stock. I think it looks terrible when members of Congress are doing it. When members of Congress make a big trade on Thursday only to vote on a related bill on Friday, that's not insider trading. That's already illegal.
Johnson said he hopes if the bill passes, it would increase the confidence and trust people have in Congress. Well, there is only one word to describe today: hot. So how long will this heat stick around? Chief Meteorologist David Stradling is here to let us know. I think people would kind of like a little break at this point.
Yeah, I would like a break. It's very warm. We've had this heat for the past couple of days. It is going to continue for one more day, maybe two, depending on how you feel about 80s and low 90s. But tomorrow is actually going to be the hottest day in the forecast. We look at our Golden West weather camera at Granite Automotive. Plenty of sunshine, just a few clouds over the hills. There were a couple of storms that popped up late morning, early afternoon. But as we look at our temperatures right now, it's very warm for everyone. We're at 99 in Phillip and Sheridan, 90s for nearly everyone outside of the Black Hills. Even Hot Springs flirting with triple digits. Custer right now at 83 degrees. For tonight, it's going to be a warm one. 69 degrees. That's not too comfortable when you're waking up in the morning hours. Hoping for a couple of cool hours before it gets hot, because we're back up to 98 tomorrow. We have sunny skies, heat likely. It will be a bit breezy too. I'll talk more about the cooler air that settles in after that coming up.
Thank you, David. A Rapid City man is sentenced to prison this morning after racking up his 5th, 6th, and 7th felony convictions. 37-year-old John Dillon was sentenced to 20 years in prison on convictions for aggravated assault on law enforcement, aggravated eluding, and riot in jail. This all started in 2023 when the Pennington County State's Attorney's Office said Dillon led law enforcement on a high-speed pursuit through Pennington County that exceeded 130 miles per hour and driving the wrong way on Highway 44. While on bond and under the influence of substances, Dillon stole a vehicle and led law enforcement on another pursuit. After Dillon was stopped by law enforcement, he ran away, even threw large rocks at a police canine and 3 officers. About 1 year later, prosecutors say Dillon repeatedly kicked an inmate in the head as an act of retaliation for testifying in court, causing significant injuries. In celebration of 75 years of flights, Rapid City Regional Airport is inviting the people in KOTA territory to help make history. Airport staff are collecting photos, small keepsakes, and personal stories from the public to be sealed in a time capsule that will be buried at the end of the year, giving future travelers a look back on the airport's past.
We're inviting the public to submit photos or memories that they have at this airport. At the end of the year, we'll be taking some of those items and burying them in a time capsule to be opened 50 years from now. We have received already some amazing submissions going back into the 60s, back before we even had jet bridges. It's really incredible to see.
To be a part of this unique piece of history, go to our website at kotatv.com for details on how to submit. It was a record-breaking July at Rapid City Regional Airport with more passengers flying through than ever before. More than 110,000 travelers passed through the airport, nearly a 10% increase from last July. Since the start of the year, over 500,000 passengers have flown in or out, setting a new all-time high. Executive Director Patrick Dame said the airport is working hard to keep up with that growth.
We're up 11.5% already this year so far, and so as we're looking to add on to the facility, all of this is due to the growth that we've got coming through. We do expect that we're going to hit about 450,000 passengers a year. When you look at over the last decade, we've seen over a 60 to 70% increase in passengers in the last 10 years.
That rising demand is driving a major 3-phase expansion project. The airport recently finished the exterior phase of Phase 1 and is now moving inside.
That will be expanding the ticket counters, redeveloping the existing ticket counters that are there. We'll be finishing some of the back of house by getting carousels in the back for the airlines to pull baggage off of. We'll also be working on the completion of the TSA checkpoint to get that ready for people to start utilizing in the not so distant future.
The full expansion is expected to take about 10 years and cost about $220 million. After experiencing financial struggles in the past, Sturgis is seeing a massive rebound in sales tax revenues this year. It reached more than $1.4 million in the first 7 months, nearly a 21% increase over that same period last year. But what's even more impressive is that in July alone, the city's general fund sales tax collections totaled more than $427,000. That is a spike of nearly 168% compared to last July. Sturgis City Administrator Aaron Jordan said the large increase can be attributed to several factors.
We have a lot of people that come to Sturgis, prior to the rally riding their motorcycles. We have a lot of people that come, to experience all the trails, all the public property we have around here, or just come to see the national and state parks. So if you look at July was busy on Main Street.
Despite the city experiencing a strong July, sales tax collections in dining, alcoholic beverages, and lodging dropped more than 20% compared to last July. What's another hot one today in KOTA territory? We'll let you know what the rest of the week looks like in your accurate First Alert forecast coming up later. But first, with school back in session comes an increase in attention to dangerous driving. We'll take you on a ride along with the RCPD when we come back. Thousands of children are now back in school across KOTA territory, and that means school zone speed limits have also returned, along with an increased spotlight on dangerous driving behavior. KOTA territory's Jacob Fitzgerald met with police here in Rapid City, where they're stepping up patrols, and it's not a one-time thing.
Rapid City police officers ramped up patrols around every school that opened Tuesday morning. It didn't take long before they stopped a vehicle for driving over the 15-mile-per-hour speed limit near North Middle School. Shortly after, a second driver gets pulled over, not only for speeding, but also illegally tinted windows. just minutes passed before yet another driver finds himself being pulled over. RCPD say an officer can make more than a dozen traffic stops for violations within a single school zone on a daily basis. Sergeant Matthew James with the RCPD says the agency has a goal to deter dangerous driving behavior and educate drivers about the need to slow down and pay attention to school zones.
A small mistake can make a very big difference in not only your life but a life of another. So really making sure you're paying attention, your cell phones are down, you're paying attention out the windshield, and really just making sure it's a safe environment for everybody.
Police say they don't just assign officers in school zones on the first day, but for the entire school year.
This isn't a 1 week, 2 week effort for the police department. We focus on this year round.
As for drivers that may not know where they need to watch their speed, police stress you should always pay attention to flashing signs.
Yeah, a good rule is if you're seeing children, you're going to follow the 15-mile-an-hour rule. Our lights turn on at 7:30, and every light turned on at 7:30, as they should have.
Law enforcement is also asking parents to make sure their kids are using crosswalks for added safety. Reporting Rapid City, Jacob Fitzgerald, KOTA Territory News.
Chief Meteorologist David Stradling is tracking the hottest day of the week. The details are in your accurate First Alert forecast next.
Now, the First Alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist David Stradling.
Beautiful sunshine. Many of us have had that for much of the day, and it's really gotten things toasty across KOTA territory. We reached the mid-90s here in Rapid City. We did have a couple of isolated showers or thunder showers develop around the Black Hills and into parts of southwest South Dakota. Most of those are starting to weaken as we speak, and things will stay quiet for much of the night. Still 99 near Sheridan into the Hot Springs area. Also 99 for Phillip, 97 towards Pine Ridge, the Rapid City Airport, 90s for many others right now. Some clouds probably keeping Porcupine down to 86. We're 83 right now towards Custer. Now downtown Rapid City, a couple of degrees cooler, but still very hot at 95. 87 towards Nemo, 90 in Spearfish and Belfouche, Beulah at 91. It will stay quite warm overnight tonight. Many spots from the northern hills down towards Rapid City will have a low temperature near 70 degrees. Whether it's a couple of degrees warmer or cooler, it's going to be quite warm. We're not going to get that nice cool off in the morning hours that many of us would hope for before we get hot, because tomorrow is going to be the hottest day of the week, forecasting a high of 98 degrees. Sunny skies for much of the day. It will be a bit breezy, but we'll be seeing if that breeze is a warm breeze or hopefully maybe slightly cooler to keep things feeling a little more refreshing compared to how hot it is. 80s and 90s for many, even triple digits going into some spots, and those triple digits are likely towards Carter County, Sheridan County, and much of southeastern Montana. This goes through 9 p.m. on Wednesday, where we have a heat advisory in place for high temperatures ranging from the mid-90s to the mid-100s. So it's going to be very hot, dangerous heat for those who have to work outdoors or that will be outside for much of the day tomorrow. Take plenty of breaks, drink a lot of water, stay hydrated, and rest in the shade as much as you possibly can. The hour-by-hour forecast will stay quiet throughout the night tonight and for much of the day on Wednesday, and maybe a stray cloud or two, but any shower chances, they're extremely low. Now, we may have a pop-up shower like we did today, but we're not expecting anything too widespread for us. A couple of isolated showers after midnight, Wednesday night into Thursday morning into northwest South Dakota. These clouds along the front will be sliding through KOTA territory through much of the day Thursday. A few storms are possible, especially into the afternoon hours, and then we'll have those storms continuing Thursday night into Friday. After tomorrow's high of 98, we'll fall down to 88 on Thursday, 77 by Friday, and 75 on Saturday. So cooler air will be settling in for the weekend. Now, the cooling pattern that we're going to be having this weekend into early next week will be more shifted toward the Great Lakes area and out towards the East Coast. We'll be coming out of that cooler spell and maybe getting closer to average with those high temperatures in the low to mid 80s going into next week. And there's no strong signal as of now whether we're going to be seeing below or above normal moisture. So that'll be something we'll be watching out closely for you going forward as well. It is going to be a warm night with clear skies, low temperatures in the 60s for many, near 70 from Rapid City to the northern hills. Tomorrow's highs will be in the 90s for many. Belfouche, Newell out towards the Sheridan, Ekalaka, and Kadoka areas will likely going to be flirting with triple digits. Very hot. Cooler air will be moving in Thursday and Friday. Best chance of storms this week will be during the day on Friday. Nice little break from moisture over the weekend. Temperatures are pretty comfortable too. We'll be in the 70s for many.
That's 4 days in a row in the 70s out there.
Yeah, I think many of us will enjoy this break from the heat. I know the weekend we want maybe the warm air to go to the pool, but I think 70s will be a nice break.
That'll definitely work.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, David. Coming up, the Rush added a talented scorer to the lineup today. Plus, we check in with former South Dakota State head coach John Stiegelmeier to chat about NIL and the Jackrabbits' new head coach. The Quick is all the details next to KOTA Sports.
Happy dinner time, everybody. The Rush bolstered the lineup for the upcoming season today by signing Swedish forward Rasmus Ekstrom. Ekstrom is set to begin his professional career after 2 junior seasons in North America. Ekstrom scored 41 goals and racked up 43 assists in 102 games with the Spokane Chiefs. Former South Dakota State head football coach John Stiegelmeier was in Rapid City this summer to speak at the National High School Coaches Convention. Stiegelmeier retired after the Jackrabbits won the 2022 National Championship, the first of back-to-back titles. Stig spent 26 years coaching at his alma mater, winning 199 games and making 12 trips to the playoffs to go along with that national title. One of the hot-button topics in college football these days is players getting paid through name, image, and likeness.
Yeah, I think NIL is here to stay. I think because of that, you have to say it's a good thing. I do think at some point there's going to have to be some type of, if you will, salary cap. I don't know how pro sports can have salary caps and college sports, it's the wild, wild west. So I think the players deserve something for their efforts. I know Dan Jackson, the new coach, is a great leader. I know you build programs. He knows you build football programs, and he's doing that. He's doing it the right way. So I think the one thing they have going for them is they believe they can win because of the tradition from the past. So I'm excited.
Great chatting with Coach Stiegelmeier. Now the Bellfouche boys and girls soccer teams return to the pitch tonight. The Bronc boys will host Custer for their season opener. The Wildcats will look to bounce back after dropping their first 2 games of the season. That one is just underway at around 7. The Bell girls will square off with Douglas. The new Underwood football team is focused on delivering a big season. The Tigers kick things off a week from Friday when they travel to Bennett County. New Underwood finished last season with a 2-6 record, but is determined to have better results this time around. The Tigers will be led by seniors Blake Beer and Kingston Wolf. New Underwood plays its home opener on September 5th against Wall. The Tigers close out the regular season in October with 3 straight home games against Lyman, Jones County, and Phillip. Now let's take a look at some more of the high school football preseason rankings. Elton, Lake Benton, and Hamlet are the top 2 teams in 9AA. Parkston and Viborg Hurley check in 3rd and 4th. Hill City is receiving votes. The Rangers kick off the new season Friday when they host Stanley County. Sully Buttes and Avon lead the way in 9B. Faulkton and Del Rapids St. Mary hold down the 3rd and 4th spots. Kadoka is getting votes. Rodeo coming up tonight out at the Central States Fair. Round 2 of PRCA action at the Range Days Rodeo. Should be fun tonight. And of course, also over on Fox tonight, you can see the Twins. They're in action right now. Twins taking on the A's. High school football gets going Friday night, and Friday is the season's first edition of the Friday Night Hike. You'll want to tune in for that. This is year number 26 of the Friday Night Hike. 19th season for me. Looking forward to it. All right, that's going to do it for sports. We'll be right back.
All right, a break from the heat is in sight.
Yes, it's in sight, but we have to look past tomorrow because that's going to be the hottest day of the week, Jack. 98 in downtown Rapid City. Now, our record high is 102, so I don't see us quite reaching that, but it will be close. Breezy the next couple of days, then much cooler after that for the weekend.
Good deal.
Yes.
All right, that'll do it for us. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you tonight at
Thanks for watching KOTA Territory News, your local news and weather authority.